Thought you'd seen everything the anime world has to offer? Think again, my dude. This new anime is about a guy who becomes a jacked Santa Claus and befriends a super intense girl. They have to solve crazy cases in an even crazier world. If you're into it, stick around till the end, and I'm asking you to leave a like so we can get more of this awesome anime. Now check out the video. So it starts with Sanda feeling a girl's but on top of him, but he's about to bite the dust for her, because the girl's got a knife in her hand. Fuyumura tries to finish off Sanda. That morning, everything is cool with him cleaning the window and stuff. Fuyumura keeps trying to kill Sanda. He thinks he's dreamed about a girl chasing him, but not like this. Sanda falls to the floor, then he's saved by Nico entering the room and giving her usual good morning. The intense Fuyumura says that by the end of the day, Sanda will be history. Fuyumura is sad because her friend Ono disappeared, and it's already been a month. The school has even listed her as dead. In P class, it's freezing cold in the middle of December, which isn't normal. His friend says that in the old days, it was normal for December to be cold and to have something called Christmas. On the 25th, kids would get presents from an old man with a white beard called Santa Claus. Sanda's never heard of it, and his friend tells him to bundle up, but the guy says he doesn't feel cold. Right after that, he runs into Fuyumura and has a fit. It starts snowing, and Sanda gets a chest pain like he's about to kick the bucket. In the classroom, Fuyumura asks why Sanda is so nice even after she threatened him. Could it be because the boy is a descendant of Santa Claus? Sanda never agrees to wear the school's red hoodie. Fuyumura asks Sanda for the eraser, and he gives it to her and starts feeling pain. The conditions to break the curse were met. Sanda was kind and gave a child what she wanted on December 25th, like a good old Santa. Sanda stands up having a heart attack, and Fuyumura says when this happens to a person, it's a sign their powers are awakening. There are many conditions for it, so most people just think they're sick. Now Sanda needs to wear red clothes to break the curse. After hearing that, Sanda says he doesn't get any of this. All he did was because he likes her. But Fuyumura says it's because of the Santa instincts inside Sanda. He refuses to put on the hoodie, so Fuyumura finally stabs him. With that, he'll finally wear red. Fuyumura says her friend Ono didn't die. She's just been missing for 6 months. She wasn't the type to go out. Ono read books all the time. There's no way she died on the streets. Ono told Fuyumura that long ago there was spring, autumn, summer, and winter, and the scenery changed with each season. Fuyumura's name means Winter Village, but Ono thought she was as expressive as the 4 seasons. Fuyumura says either Ono was kidnapped by someone from school or she's really gone. That's why she begs Sanda to become Santa Claus and find Ono, because she promised they'd spend Christmas together. With that, Sanda says Merry Christmas, and the knife pops out of his chest. With a loud ho-ho from Sanda, he transforms into the jolly old man. But he's a really fit Santa Claus. He says he thought the Sanda family secret would die with him. Not even a knife did anything to him. He even healed and asks Fuyumura how she knew his secret. The girl looks at Santa with a hopeful face and begs for help to find her friend. With that, Sanda feels a desire to help any child in the world and make them smile, because that's the natural instinct of Santa Claus. The downside is that turning into Santa comes with the drawback of having tired eyesight because of the age, and now he doesn't have the smooth baby skin of a 14-year-old boy anymore. For Sanda to return to normal, he needs to eat his kid gummy, which calms him down like cigarettes do for adults. The explosion Sanda caused with his transformation alerted the whole school, but the teacher's excuse was that it was because of the old building. Fuyumura says there's a bomb in the classroom and Sanda needs to find it. All this so Fuyumura can find out what Santa Claus's powers are. Sanda turns into Santa, kicks everyone out of the classroom, and Fuyumura reveals she was the one with the bombs on her body. One of the students is watching and listening to the whole conversation. Sanda says he found where the bomb was because of Fuyumura's essay. Since they had to write about their wishes and she didn't write anything, Santa figured it must be a child who didn't want to live anymore. Sanda says he'll help her get her treasure back, and suddenly the bomb detonates. But the buff Santa holds back the explosion with his body. Santa's powers are 3 so far. He transforms when he wears something red. He turns back into a boy when he eats the kid gummy. Meanwhile, Sanda promises they will find Ono, and his third power is that he's immune to fire. Fuyumura checks out the guy's dorm where Sanda's friends live. She brought a box full of kid gummies. Sanda's friends find it weird. Why would a girl give a bunch of gummies to a guy like that? The wannabe Saitama from Shopee wants to know what's going on, but Sanda ain't gonna tell, obviously. This school is set in the 5th year of the Tenchi era. Japan barely has any young people left. There are only 50,000 folks under 15. That's like 0.1% of Japan's population. That's why their lives at Daikoku High are constantly monitored and protected. In this era, adults really respect the young people. Some heavy social commentary here. Asia is screwed if no more kids are born. One of Sanda's friends tases him because he discovered the truth about Santa. Sanda wakes up in the exploded lab, all tied up and in old man Sanda mode. Fuyumura is tied up too. The kid finally confirms the existence of the jolly old Christmas man. Sanda wants to know what Amaya wants. He says he doesn't want anything. Not every kid wants something so badly. Amaya is just having fun keeping the two of them under control. All because he's a teenager, and in this world, all the laws favor him. Even if he offs an adult, nothing will happen to Amaya. Right then, the school principal shows up and says kids aren't supposed to be in this lab. The principal has old man hands, but the rest of his body looks young. He says he's about to turn 92 and is super jealous of the young. That's why he always gets dangerous procedures and surgeries to stay young. He's totally obsessed with kids and hates getting old. The principal believes the students of Daikoku will rebuild Japan one day. He thinks kids without trauma have healthier minds and can always improve. He asks if Amaya has any trauma, and the kid desperately says no. Now he's just surrendering to the crazy principal. The principal can't even show anger without using his cane, because the acids he uses on his skin made his muscles necrotic. Now to get Amaya in line, he'll have to take him to the basement. Fuyumura thought that was just a rumor. However, old man Sanda shows up and saves Amaya from the principal's clutches. Fuyumura threatens to throw Amaya off the roof if he doesn't spill the truth. He says he wants Santa to start delivering presents again because his family runs a sweet shop that's about to go under. There are no kids left to buy their cakes. If the kids in Japan knew the Santa Claus myth was real, everything would go back to how it was for his family. Sanda feels that with two kids believing in Santa, his power is increasing. Old man Sanda says what Amaya said is true. He can see Amaya's family candy shop, which is really far away. Amaya thanks him for believing. Then Sanda eats a kid gummy and turns back to normal, saying nothing that happened leaves this group of three. He doesn't want more people finding out his secret identity. With that, the kids join hands and make that promise. Sanda is still unsure how Fuyumura found out about his Santa powers. Meanwhile, the principal is talking with a Santa hunting task force. The street Nicholas hunting squad is about to make its move. Sanda tells his friends that his powers are growing stronger every day. Just having two kids believe in him is enough. He says he discovered his new power seems to be knocking things over around him. Why would it be this weird thing? I don't know. A plant pot even falls over for no reason. The theory is that this might happen because of a kid lying near him. Amaya says that's the most plausible explanation. Fuyumura thinks it's amazing and tells Sanda this power would be incredible. Sanda rejects this and thinks his classmate Izawa lied to him when she said he was cute. She actually finds him weird. At sunset, Fuyumura says everyone tells lies every day, so little white lies are irrelevant. Fuyumura lies in front of Sanda to test his power, saying that Ono is definitely dead and not just missing. Fuyumura gets hurt by the broken glass and promises she will never lie to him unless she's willing to find Ono. That's why Sanda has to ignore small lies and move on. At night in a classroom, Fuyumura and her friends randomly find Ono. The girl just spawned there. Sanda can't believe his eyes, and Ono runs away. Sanda follows her as Santa Claus. Fuyumura freezes in place and does nothing. But in the end, even after searching the whole school, they couldn't find Ono. The good thing is that now the group is sure Ono is alive, and that's something. So Fuyumura laughs a lot about it. The next day, there will be a funeral for Ono. Since her family didn't hold one for their daughter, the school will. Sanda finds it strange that this funeral is happening right after they found Ono. The wannabe Saitama from Shopee says everyone is required to go to the gym after class. Sanda won't be able to participate because if he puts on the red morning clothes, he'll turn into Santa. With that said, Fuyumura has set up some bombs to ruin this funeral. Meanwhile, Principal Ashibu says the St. Nicholas hunting group has the perfect opportunity to catch Santa. The other students just think they're there as security for the funeral. Ashibu says Santa must be 100% involved in Ono kicking the bucket, which is why he'll attend the funeral. Ashibu asks why Ayaguiuta, their biggest weapon, is so low-key. He says he doesn't like people behind him. The reason Ayaguiuta is the organization's biggest weapon is that he already wounded Santa when he appeared 20 years ago. Since then, he's been hunting him for a long time. Now he's become an old man and joined a group that's mistreated by the government. With that, the guy goes outside for a smoke and overhears Sanda and Fuyumura's conversation. He thought it was a romantic chat or whatever. But then, Ayaguiuta discovers Sanda is a descendant of Santa and shoots him in the arm, forcing Sanda to transform. So now his duty is to arrest the jacked Santa right in front of him. Ayaguiuta is shocked by what he found, and Sanda complains that he ruined his speech by shooting and throws the guy against the warehouse wall. Sanda still doesn't know his own strength and worries he might have killed the guy. Little does he know it was all an act by Ayaguiuta, who soon kicks him in the face and pins him down, asking if he recognizes the symbol on his forearm. Sanda has no idea what it is and tells Ayaguiuta to calm down, pinning him to the ground, only to get kicked in the nuts. And that's the end of the anime. Thanks, folks. Sanda remembers something horrible from when he became Santa. He checked on his friend and realized it was an adult-sized thing. What a random thought. Ayaguiuta wants to capture him, but the poor guy can't overcome Grandpa Sanda's strength, who says he doesn't know about his own power and that he hits people and breaks things by accident. He has dangerous strength and asks if Ayaguiuta is here to capture him because he's a danger to society. The old dude breaks free and says it's nothing like that, grabbing a bench press bar. Aiguiota says the problem is him being Santa and just bonks Sanda on the head with it. He introduces himself as a member of the St. Nicholas Hunt unit. Sanda says he'll fight for the children with his head held high, and somehow the dude is commando and continues the fight against Aiguiota, who shoots him. The kids heard something, but they just ignore it. Fuyumura, seeing adult Sanda naked and fighting, remembers when she and her friend Ono saw pictures of naked male statues and wondered if a boy's body was really like that. Fuyumura was super embarrassed, and Ono said that everything adults forbid just makes you want to know more, like the rule that you can't kiss before marriage or you'll get cavities. This world is so weird, man. Ono said that young people in the old days would kiss anyone they liked. Fuyumura said she never felt like doing that, and Ono wanted to try it with her. This anime is 2 steps away from turning into a whole different thing. Crazy stuff, bro. The fight between Grandpa Sanda and Aiguiota went on for so long it broke the gym ceiling where Ono's wake was happening. Everyone saw a ripped, naked old man and was stunned. Fuyumura remembers those naked statues and thinks it was like the gods from mythology, a very beautiful body. All the school kids think the same. That said, Sanda takes Ono's picture and promises he will find her. The next day at sunset, Fuyumura hugs Sanda warmly, and Sanda doesn't get it. She thanks him for putting an end to Ono's wake and is surprised that he's so skinny and short. Sanda's almost thinking with his downstairs brain, but Fuyumura interrupts everything by putting the red hoodie on him so Santa can come, saying she likes him better this way. What? You author of Beastars, hold up, this is getting weird. Good thing Santa Claus is a righteous man and only wants to protect the children's smiles and happiness, nothing more. It's all an adult's duty towards someone younger. Fuyumura wants another tight hug to feel calm, since she misses her friend Ono. Schoolgirls have Grandpa Sanda dolls and call him the Grandpa God. Her friend Nico says it was kind of fun, but it was no big deal. Actually, it was pretty lame, just like her fiancé. Aiguiota is eating ramen with his co-workers and finds out that if Santa falls in love with a child, he has a heart attack. Will he kick the bucket when he realizes it, when he kisses, or when they get down to business? This weird conversation ends, and no one knows if it's true. After all, they're just rumors. When Aiguiota fought him, he discovered Santa is almost immortal, so it makes sense he'd bite the dust only in very specific situations. The colleagues from the organization's top weapon need to find Santa and capture him fast, or they're out on the street, and in this messed up Japan, it's almost impossible to find a job. But Aiguiota won't reveal Santa's identity to just anyone, though he swears he'll capture Sanda no matter what. Sanda is checking out his friend's chubby body and says it doesn't affect him. Amaya takes him outside and asks what that's all about. Sanda reveals that Santa can't have a libido. Amaya suspects if it's something to do with Fuyumura. Sanda says nothing happened yet, but since he became Santa, whenever he thinks about that kind of stuff with her, he just feels disgusted with himself. As Santa, he only wants to protect her as a child and defend her smile. Amaya asks what he's going to tell the girl involved with him. Sanda remembers that and goes to talk with the girl who is his fiancée, Nico Kazeo. She shows up and breaks the broom on purpose to get out of cleaning. Sanda wants to talk to her about something, but Nico doesn't want to hear it. In this world, young people are forced to get married and have kids to increase the birth rate. Sanda wants to cut this relationship off and says he won't marry her, but the heavy rain keeps Nico from hearing, and she wants to go out in the rain to have fun in the danger. But Sanda says it's forbidden to do that. Nico says they have to be rebellious while they still can, because their lives are already too controlled. They need to break the rules sometimes. The two go out in the heavy rain and stand under a tree. Nico says everyone thinks the Grandpa God brought the rain, but to her, that's nonsense. Her reality is better than any god could give. Nico was happy Sanda came after her in the heavy rain and says they'll be a beautiful couple, but his Santa instinct rejects all this romance. Aiguiota shows up at the school as the new PE teacher to try and catch Santa, and he wants to talk with Sanda after class. We see the principal showed his true heart to Aiguiota and threatened to put it on him if he doesn't manage to catch Santa. The undercover teacher plan was Principal Ashibu's idea too, and he wants Santa captured in less than a month. Aiguiota and Grandpa Sanda are about to start the fight, but suddenly Sanda turns back into a kid, so the old dude is going to be traumatized at the idea of hitting a child. Using the red coat isn't working to turn into Santa anymore. Something's not right here. When Fuyumura is washing her clothes in the laundry room, she sees Ono outside and opens the door to let her in, super happy to see her friend again, and notices she looks really different. Ono grabs Fuyumura and kisses her on the floor. Things are heating up here. Ono is crazy to get a piece of Fuyumura, because she really wants her body. Even with her own developed body, she didn't want to become an adult and wants them both to stop their time with death. Ono used to watch Fuyumura sleeping and was attracted to her every night, even saying I love you to her and having erotic dreams about Fuyumura. This Beastars author is showing some really crazy stuff, man. Hold on, my friend. When Ono woke up from her dream, she noticed her body had grown and developed. She hit puberty overnight. A student entering puberty before graduation is forbidden, which is why no one sleeps, so Ono ran away. Fuyumura gets up and tells her it's okay to grow up, but Principal Ashibu shows up and sees everything. The boogeyman's gone crazy and wants to discipline her. Fuyumura doesn't understand what the problem is with students growing up and becoming adults. Ashiba hates Ono's tears and says it's the most disgusting thing in the world, all because when you get older, a person becomes more empathetic and sensitive. The Daikoku Wellness Academy doesn't need students like that, and he tries to hit Ono. But Sanda comes to the rescue of both and reveals himself to be Santa. Ashibu is furious and almost has a stroke, but then his fake eyes fall off in the sheer surprise. The guy is all stitched up and made of plastic just to avoid aging. Amaya throws a bunch of red hoodies on Sanda so Ashibu doesn't discover his true form, and from the pile of coats, Sanda is getting squished and remembers Ayaguiuta's words about him being a kid. But he can't be like that, he needs to be an adult. So he turns into Santa once again and is in the Christmas beat-down drip. Ashibu kicks Grandpa Sanda, making him break everything and fly outside. The guy shows off that this is the strength of someone who overcame aging, but Santa won't allow it and charges. Ashibu is fast and the fight is intense. The cyborg draws a sword, and Sanda defends himself with snow sparks. Sanda needs Amaya and Fuyumura to believe in him with all their might, so he gets stronger and wins the fight. That said, all three of them lie down to sleep to show they trust Santa so much they know he'll protect them amidst the danger. Santa blocks the sword strike with his wrist and says children need to sleep, eat, and smile to be strong. So Grandpa Sanda delivers a massive punch to Ashibu's face and sends him flying. Ashibu gets up to continue the fight, but some old lady shows up out of nowhere, drinking. She says to ignore her and calls Ashibu ridiculous for wanting to be young, then breaks his sword and takes him down. She's the master of the academy, head director Toyo Tsudomi. Sanda has never seen anyone so wrinkled. Now that's an elderly lady, and on top of that, she's super strong. Grandpa Sanda carries Toyo on his back to her office, but the indecisive old woman doesn't want it anymore and decides to walk. Toyo wants to know the old man's name, and he replies that he's Santa. Toyo says the best person in the world is someone who can be an adult and a child at the same time. Sanda sees her as a beautiful child who knows what she's talking about, and he also wants to be a strong Santa who protects children, and he asks Toyo to help him with that. The head director mentions that it had been a while since Ashibu showed his scars. This just shows he was really pissed, and she hadn't seen that in a long time. She asks if Santa is capable of changing this school. If he really wants to, he'll have to do something. Ashibu applied more acids to himself and swears he will find out who Santa is and send him to meet his maker. Amaya looks at Sanda and notices he's really friendly with others and always knows what to say to them. Then out of nowhere, he says they need to stop seeing each other since Fuyumura and Amaya's faces were revealed to Ashibu. But since Sanda didn't reveal his identity and is always with the two of them, it might tip Ashibu off eventually. Amaya says this will be better for all three of them so Sanda can stay safe, but the MC refuses this idea of separating. After all, everyone's in danger, and because of that, they have to stick together. Amaya won't hear it and says everything will be fine and leaves. Fuyumura just watches. That said, Sanda is pissed that Amaya locked himself in the boys' room and doesn't want anyone around. Fuyumura didn't understand why this happened, and Ono is in the infirmary resting. Fuyumura leaves quickly, and meanwhile, Ono starts having serious pains and her body starts getting veiny all over. Transformed Sanda goes to Amaya's window and says he needs him to be able to become Santa and won't give up on their friendship. The tense part is that the students notice the grandpa god, but Sanda runs away fast and has to speak quieter. Amaya tries to pull him into the room, but the buff dude is too heavy. That said, Fuyumura arrives and finds Amaya almost biting the dust trying to hold Sanda, so much so that he ends up falling and runs away. Ashibu is strangling Ayaguiuta and is almost about to transfer his heart to the old dude to make him age fast. The old dude needs to think of an excuse to survive and says he envies him too much. That's why he didn't obey his orders. Ayaguiuta is jealous of Principal Ashibu's youthfulness. He really wanted to be a symbol of beauty and energy like him. With this spiel, Ashibu lets him go and tells him to praise him more. This makes Ashibu's scars burn from the oxytocin release, making him happier and healing the scars on his body and soul. Ashibu says Ayaguiuta is perfect to be his spy and thinks about what to do now, since there are people at Daikoku School with a greater ability to take down Santa than Ayaguiuta. Nico and Sanda help a girl carry some dead plants to her classroom, which is in the lower part of the school, class 2 to 10. Sanda is suspicious of something. He thought there were only 5 second-year classes. Then the girl reveals this is the classroom for students who sent an adult to meet their maker. The vibe gets weird, and Sanda notices it makes sense since the chairs are facing away from the board. Nico softly tells them they should leave, but the door is locked, and Fumi says they can't go now because her class wants to know something. Class 10 wants to find out where a certain different student is in the school and if Santa is in this school. Relaxed Nico says that's crazy. There's no way Santa exists. Sanda is relieved he wasn't discovered. Then Fumi says they can leave, and they say goodbye. Sanda can't believe that's the face of a child who sent an adult to their grave. Outside, Nico vents because she was scared shitless of that brat in her sect of evil gnomes. Sanda goes back to class 10 to get Nico's cat keychain, since she never wants to go back there. Sanda is at the classroom door and remembers Toyo told him that if he wants to change the world for the better, he first needs to face the underworld of this school. Only after that will the head director train him. With that, Sanda has to face these underworld kids and turns into Santa to do it. Fumi opens the door and finds him suddenly. She starts all happy, enjoying Santa's company. Sanda isn't used to a child's joy at seeing him, but then things get weird because these kids are holding blades and melee weapons for him. Amaya and Fumira find out Sanda went to the brat class and run over there. Fumi and the crazies want Santa's thumbs as a present. After all, that's the Christmas present they want. But Sanda can't grant this crazy girl's request. She even wants Sanda to put his thumbs in her boot. Santa gets weaker because he can't reject a child's wish. That said, Fumira arrives, blowing everything up and asking if this is Class 10. Man, Sanda is a crazy fun anime that really intrigues you. If you stayed until the end of this madhouse, leave your like and subscribe to support the channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next recaps. And there are more videos down below for anyone who wants to watch. Thanks for the constant support. Peace out.